Hey everyone, what's up? My name's Rick. I've been a photographer for a long time. Probably, I started in high school in the early 2000s shooting film. Really got into it because a friend of mine, he's a really great photographer, and he kind of got me hooked on it. And I've always loved photography. And the older I got, I kind of got into the day job thing and let photography go as a hobby. Then I got back into photography and started doing a little bit of video work, and kind of found myself as a photographer at that time. I was doing a lot of corporate events and a lot of church services, live music, and corporate events, big parties, birthday parties, stuff like that. Really found myself as a photographer and kind of developed my own style that a lot of people locally started to like. And then I kind of died off for a while. I hit a kind of like a block. I've always wanted to vlog. Really didn't know how to vlog, what to vlog, if it would be interesting. Like, I have a lot of hobbies. And that's kind of where this video starts and this new series starts. So that's kind of where I was. I was in a block. I didn't know what to do. I took some time off from photography. Really wanted to start doing more video work. And, with this block, I didn't know what to create. I was always a part of a team, and I was given a, overall goal or objective of the team. And then I would, contribute my view to that. So that's where this comes in, the start of this new YouTube channel, and this new content that I'm creating. So when I would do some stock photography where, people just needed images and stuff, I would always look up really interesting locations around me. I've done a bunch of fitness models, and, typically when you see fitness models, they're all in the gym. So I took a different approach. I found a bunch of abandoned areas around me, and it wasn't so much the fitness model using weights. It was more of the fitness model in this run-down place, showing off their physique. And I think that kind of like the dichotomy of a really dungy place and then somebody who spent all this time on their body, it just made it so much more emotional. I think dichotomy is the right word, right? Or duality. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I am not a very well-spoken person. So anyways, the start of this, I'm going to do a weekly challenge. I'm going to give myself an hour at a location to try to put together like a B-roll video and to take some photos from that location. And then, I'll put the photos in the videos, and I'll also post the videos up, or the photos up. And I kind of wanted this to be, like a starting off point or a catalyst, or just the confidence that somebody needs to, push themselves a little bit further in creating whatever their video or photography needs are, or even if it's anything else like painting or whatever. I'm pretty sure these principles you can apply to multiple things. So I've been all over my state, Ohio. I look up like all the urban legend stuff, all the abandoned locations, stuff like that, all the super hipster areas, and I used to do a lot of photography there. And so what I'm doing now is I'm limiting the gear that I can take to each, session. Right now, kind of the inspiration behind this was I just got the Insta360 Lunar Ultra. As you can see here, I've got the display / controls / microphone right here in my hand so that I can talk, still have good audio, and still frame myself up in this video. So this one's going to be kind of rough. It is the first one. There's many things you got to think about when creating a project like this. And it's kind of, for me, as like doing it solo was always kind of overwhelming, because when I worked with teams, we had a media team and you had one person that was just in charge of the idea, the end product. But then you had all these separate figures or people that had different roles in that, and each person brought something a little bit different, a little different look, and a little different skill to it. And we all would, go kind of do our part, kind of look at the stuff, kind of brainstorm from there, and then go back as a collective whole and kind of tweak it. I think the best analogy I've heard for creating anything that is art related is from Wes Borland. He is the guitar player for Limp Bizkit and Blacklight Burns. He talks about how he writes riffs, and he says, think of it as a painting. But when he starts a painting, he starts with a sketch. And he sketches that out really, really rough and crude, and not like, perfect final detail. It's, he'll like do this, and he's like, oh, I really like this aspect right here, but this area here, I kind of want to trim away, and I kind of want to make, like the contour of this person's cheek a little more harder, a sharper angle to make it a little more dramatic. So this one has been kind of just playing in my head the last couple days, and I'm going to try to walk through that with limited plan. My plan here was I picked a location, I have a few talking points, and I'm going to try to pull some really good photos out of this as well, and some B-roll. So typically when I'm trying to find locations that I don't know about, I Google stuff. So I search for like, urban environments, decayed environments, urban legends, stuff like that. Also, one thing that I do a lot there is I use Google Earth, and I just zoom around in areas that I think are pretty cool and kind of zoom in as much as I can, see if the area looks like it'd be a good place to do photography at. or a video at, and then find a way to get there. Then I go there and scout it. So this area is an urban legend area here in Columbus, Ohio. It's called Hell's Gate. It's located off High Street, and as you can see, there's already people here. And it's pretty early. It's like 10 in the morning. So I'm going to show you some of Hell's Gate, try to pull out some cool photos that I have, or that I can find here. But as far as using gear, I used to really get stuck on bringing too much gear and then just constantly changing gear and kind of missing out on stuff. If you can't tell, this Insta360 Lunar Ultra I'm really not used to, so I keep looking at the screen here instead of looking at the camera. This is a pretty expensive piece of kit. I mean, it's like $900 almost for the base kit. It's like, you know, 799 chicken nuggets plus tax. So yeah, I'm really not used to that, so I keep looking at it just to make sure that it's still tracking me and it's still in frame, and like, this thing's awesome. Typically I wouldn't recommend a piece of kit that's this expensive starting out, but so far with using this, the amount of stuff that this does, in my eyes, is worth it. Remote monitoring, plus I also have a microphone that, you know, I can talk into right here. And ironically, I don't know if I switch to it on this, because it gives you a prompt when you take the remote control off if you want to use the external mic here or the internal mic there. Also, another really cool thing is, like, I've got my ND filter right here. I bought this pack. It was like 4 ND filters. No, three ND filters and a circle polarizer. And it was like $50, but they magnetically clip on to the gimbal camera, which is absolutely amazing. So moving on with, you know, not taking too much gear to a shoot and just trying to let the creativity in you come out. I've limited myself to this shoot to 2 pieces of gear: the Insta360 Luna and my Sony RX100 Mark 5A. So it's the 5th version of it, but it has the anti-aliasing filter removed to help with some sharpness. It is a point and shoot camera. It is a relatively expensive point and shoot camera. I've had it for about 5 or 6 years, and I'm absolutely amazed at the photos that it takes. And I found myself taking more photos with that if I just throw it in a sling bag, like if I'm out with the kids or the wife, you know, just throwing it in my Peak Design 10-liter sling bag, or 15 liters, whatever this is, I forget. Just because I don't have to worry so much on such a big piece of kit. And the focal range on it's good, you know, it's like a 24-70 equivalent. It takes really good photos. It's got really good low light performance. Once you learn how to navigate that camera and set up the custom function buttons, it helps a lot. Like mine, there's a control ring on the front. I've got that set to ISO. I've got the back control knob set to shutter speed. No, I got the front control knob set to aperture. The back control knob set to shutter speed. I can push another button and it turns it to ISO. And that camera also has a built-in ND filter, so that helps a lot too. So the only 2 pieces of kit I have today are those. I did bring my Zoom mini sound recorder because sometimes I just like to capture soundscapes. Like, I don't know right now if you can hear the birds, you can hear a little bit of the water here, plus you also can hear like a loading truck that's up there. I'm pretty sure it's in the video, or you can hear it stalking me as I'm walking down here. So sometimes I do capture soundscapes. That's something else you can do as a creative like outlet or small source of income. If you do stock photography or stock video, there's also stock sounds. So, you know, go to some areas, sit for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and just record the sound. And then you have that in your library of stuff to use. You know, so say sometimes you go somewhere and, you know, you want just birds and like a water brook sound. but where you're at, it was too loud, or you just kind of want that sound to set the mood. Having that saved is, it's almost priceless. You can almost always use it somewhere for something. These granite, I think they're granite, they're probably not granite, it's slate. It's like slate rock walls that are all collapsing. You can see all these, beautiful houses that were built in, the early 1900s. So it is pretty cool. Definitely a awesome area. There's graffiti down here that says, I don't know if you can read it because I can't see because of the LUT, but it says, "Love everyone, but Hitler and Trump. So yeah, this is just kind of a place where everybody comes to express some type of outlet that they have. You know, you can see all the graffiti up here on all of these. It's pretty freaking awesome. So kind of with going back to the vlogging and finding a location, you see we got these VO bikes down here too that people just left. But going back to finding a location and stuff, I think it's really important for your location to have a story, and that gives, you know, your subject, if you have a model or the story you're trying to tell, so much more, you know, just power. So yeah, I mean, I guess really when you come down to it, sorry for babbling. It's really my first time in front of the camera, but do your research. Try to think about what the location has to offer and try to pick your gear based off of that. So like down here, like I really wouldn't bring like my 135 f1.8 for my A7 unless I was doing like a portrait session and I wanted to be, you know, like I wanted to have somebody like, you know, back there. Oh man, the tracking on this is insane. Back there in that tunnel and maybe way up there and kind of get a huge, you know, like depth of field thing. But, you know, pick something that you think you can use fast and you're going to get like all of the moments and emotion that you want out of that. Like I said, I know this area really well, so I didn't scout it a ton because I've been here a million times. But, you know, think about what you want your end goal to be for the project. You know, it's like this one, I was like, all right, I need to vlog and I want to talk about, you know, having a block as a photographer and a block for media creation, especially since I was heavily on the photography side and not on the video side. So that was my number one thing, is what it's about, is that. My number two thing was I needed a location. This is one of my favorite locations. So I already had it scouted and I knew that like it's kind of a confined area. So like a 24-70 on any camera or the equivalent to that is great to get most shots in here. Especially I really like the 20 to 50 millimeter range because it replicates a lot of what the eye can see and you can still get a lot of wide stuff. So really do your research on what the location has to offer you as a photographer or a videographer, what limitations it has, what gear you need, whether that's cameras, video equipment, tripod, sound stuff, shoes. I wear those Vivo flat shoes, barefoot shoes, and I totally forgot that it's rained a lot here. So like walking here, you'll probably see on the video, I almost eat it 5 or 6 times. So kind of plan all that stuff so you can really focus on the artwork and creativity. It's like I'm probably going to take a photo of this thing. This is one of my favorite things to shoot. Just getting an angle on this and taking a photo of that. You can also go up top and shoot down. well, my hour time's up here. Thanks to everybody that watched this. I'll do better to script the next one. I know I did ramble some, but I guess just take a couple key takeaways, even for myself. You know, I try to think all this in my head, but it actually does help to write it down, take notes in your phone, whatever. But I mean, let's get better together. Help me help you help me. But yeah, kind of have key points of what you want to do and or talk about, film or take photos of when you go to your shoot. It would be good, you know, if you, like I said, Google Earth an image or Google Maps, zoom in, find an area that looks cool. Or if you're driving by somewhere and it looks cool, you know, stop, walk it for 15 or 20 minutes, then go home and make a game plan. That was where I failed at this. I've been here a million times, so I thought I could, you know, just rattle it all off the top of my head. I obviously couldn't, so, you know, that just goes to show you only get out what you put in. That putting in, whether, you know, it's scouting the location, knowing what gear you need to take there so you don't have, you know, the fear of missing out, you know, FOMO and bringing 15 different lenses and not focusing on your creative ability with what you have, instead of trying to force something with, you know, swapping lenses out 5 or 6 times. Get your talking points down, or your story that you want to tell, a lot better than what I did in this one. Like I said, that's on me. I thought I would have this a lot better because it's such a cool location and I've been here so many times. But that's part of learning and growing and getting better. And then, like, something really to take home, and like I've struggled with this a lot, is the fear of doing it. Like, who cares? Who really cares? Yeah, you're going to get haters on the internet that say something stupid, but like, are they out doing stuff? Probably not. They're probably keyboard jockeys. And like, when you look at it, like, I always refer everything that you want to do or are passionate about to 2 like really great athletes in history, Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Michael Jordan put all the work in. So did Kobe Bryant. They have missed more shots than they've made, but they're able to make all those key shots, and they're able to be so consistent. Especially, like, you know, Michael Jordan. He always give him the ball when the game was on the line. And it was because he put all that time in, and he didn't look at a bad practice or 6 hours that, you know, he only made 20% of his shots. He looked at all of that not as failure, but as the first step in growing to succeeding. So the more you do something, you know, the better you get. Me, like myself, a lot of my time outside of photography, you know, I shot, man, I think every weekend for 8 or 10 years straight, just photo. I did a little bit of a video here and there to help the media team, but I was mainly a photo guy, or I was hired by corporate companies to do photos. I'm very big on candid photography. I don't like to plan shots. I like to capture actual moments as they happen, because there's so much more feeling in that. But outside of that, I play competitive paintball at a pretty high level, and I can't tell you how many hours of practice I have in, you know, running out to the same bunker 200, 300 times, you know, trying to perfect my slide, my hip slide, my cancel slide coming up, taking my snapshot down the wire and stuff like that. And I failed so many times in practice. And then something kind of clicked where I became a lot better player. And it was, I didn't practice to be the best. I practiced to fail. And I look at that failure as a learning moment. So Like, I'm doing this video, I'm sure it's probably going to be mediocre at best, but with feedback and watching it myself, I can learn and grow from that. And the only way you're going to do that is if you get out and do it, and just do it and do it and do it and do it. You know, you look at a lot of the real big YouTubers, streamers, like content creators, you know, equipment gear review people, and look at how much better their videos have gotten over the years. Like, was it Marquez Brown, when he started reviewing tech in his college dorm compared to now? Like, dude is a superstar, but he did it and did it and did it. And he looked at every failure as a growing step. So it's not that you failed, it's that you learned something that you need to be better at, and you're going to constantly be doing that. So that's kind of my last big takeaway on that. Thanks if you stuck around. Sorry it wasn't as scripted as I wanted it to be. Like I said, I came into this one with a little chip on my shoulder because I've been to this location a lot of times, and I thought I knew exactly what I wanted to talk about. Obviously I didn't. That's a learning point for me. Take that from me right now. Get your ducks in a row, cross your T's, dot your I's. You know, maybe if you're doing a 1 hour video or mini documentary or something, get 10 points that you want to hit. You know, if you're doing a 5-minute short video about some gear or some location, get a point a minute. So then it's not rambling, it's something fresh. And that's something that I'm going to start doing. I may come back to this location in the future and do that. But as soon as I get home, I'm going to pick my next location, you know, try to pick 5 things to talk about, create a 5-minute video, because this one's going to be long. Hopefully I can edit the video down to where it's not too long and make it a 5-point video. But we'll see. I mean, we don't know until I get in there and start editing. And yeah, people, just get out, create, whatever. I mean, that's what's beautiful about life in the world. Everybody's take on something is different. Everybody views art different. You know, I'm sure this video is gonna suck, but maybe it gives that one person the confidence to pick up a camera and take their first photo, or do their first vlog, or review their first product. And I mean, if you're doing that, like, you're helping people, and that's the best thing in life. It's not what you get out of life, it's what you give and what that does for other people. So hopefully this inspires some of you. Hopefully some of you contact me and we grow and get better together. Like I said, video stuff is very new to me, especially vlogging. I really don't like being in front of the camera, and I have like a fear of public speaking, which is hilarious, because if you know me, like in my other hobbies like paintball, I'm probably the loudest, most obnoxious, outgoing person, but stuff like this terrifies me. But I'm like that in paintball because I'm very comfortable. So yet again, back to the point, do this a lot. You know, do a weekly thing, take a whole week and plan it, and then spend an hour on it. If you're taking your whole week planning it, when you go to do the project, or go to do the vlog, or go to review that piece of tech, you're going to be so much more dialed in than what I am today. So take that as a learning point. I'm taking it as a learning point. I said I'm going to pick my next location. I'm going to pick like 5 talking points, really dive into them, especially if it's a location that I know and I can talk about. You know, I probably could have done a little better job on the urban myth lore of this area down here. So maybe I'll revisit it, and we'll have a Hell's Gate 2.0 where I talk about, you know, the urban myth of it, instead of just coming down here and blanking out kind of like I did. But hey, that was the purpose of this video, was to spend an hour down here, try to get as much content as I could. And photos, I probably took 50 photos. I didn't focus a ton on it. I just, some key little things that I saw. If I tried to, I can take photos in this area for like 10 hours because it's so crazy. Like, if we look back here, like if we go all the way down here, I think this is like, it goes on for like 2 miles. And the amount of stuff that you find down there is insane. I have some old photos from here that I'll try to find and stitch into this video. Like, I found a pair of like red high heels down there, which was insane. I think I found a graphics card. You know, I just found some spray paint and bikes down there. But yeah, hey, people, get out, create content, media, whatever your art form is, whatever your medium is. Express yourself, help other people express themselves.